keys for all these locks and everything are on your key ring.
Okay. So this
is the hydraulic
landing
system.
gear.
Actually, this is for the slide rooms, I believe. The landing gear is controlled by this motor right here. It's a rotary motor.
Okay, so this one here for slides?
In, out, yeah.
I thought the slide controls would be inside.
Oh, there are.
Okay,
you have them inside and you have them outside. What's nice is out here you can come out here and you can actually shut these valves off. You can shut this valve off, you can shut this valve off, and then open them one at a time or something. So if you have it's more for a maintenance kind of thing. So if I'm working on it out here, I can bring it in and out without having to go inside and outside.
Okay,
inside
so mostly a maintenance thing.
Yeah, and then there's a secondary switch right here. And there's also, I believe, on this one over here as well.
Is that for the landing gear then?
Yeah, so that is the landing gear control is that switch inside there.
Okay.
You got your bubble level here for front to back stability.
Okay.
This is your pigtail to go in the back truck or tow vehicle.
That doesn't need to come all the way out to the end there.
No. What happens is over time, these are the plastics, the temperature, the heat change, they end up shrinking a little bit. It doesn't really matter that much. I might take a little blob of sealant and cover that screw just because the screw holes are where water comes in.
Okay.
But over time, they all just tend to shrink and stretch out and end up a couple inches off from where they are. Class C's are the worst because you get them like these ones here, right along there. Once it shrinks, it'll pop out of this groove and just cut the corner, and it'll go like that instead of going around.
Yeah, I've seen something like that, not on here, of course, but.
Storage compartment here. That's just the motor for your.
Okay, and then looks like it's starting to crack along here.
Yeah, it is a little bit. We're delivering this for you today, right? That's the last thing I heard. So I was gonna say,
I was thinking
before
about
that.
it.
Okay, well we can if you want, or we can just
Today.
do it at a different time. If you want, before we bring it over, I can just run a bead of sealant along here, and just make sure that's all cleaned up, and make sure that you don't have any problems. The other side looks pretty good. It's just a pain on the corrugated metals like these. They have to use a lot of sealant up in the valleys as opposed to the mesas.
Yeah, it looks like it's mostly just up on this side here.
Yeah, so I'll just come through with a bead of sealant and run that across there and make sure it's not a problem.
Okay.
Then you've got this compartment here in the front is it's designed
storage
to be a
compartment,
generator compartment. And it's a storage compartment right now. That's pretty much the whole outside of this thing.
Yeah, just a little bit in the corner there.
Yeah, I'll grab my caulking gun and run a bead along those two there.
Okay.
Kind of come to the inside now if you want, and I'll start going through that.
So, and then you can get a generator in here if you wanted
This
to.
compartment is actually designed for that. You have the cutout to hold the generator right here, and the batteries are all right there. So it's kind of designed for that. This wasn't a model that included a generator. Usually when you see a compartment that has venting on it like this, it's supposed to be a generator compartment because there's a fume leak. They want it to go outside the coach.
True.
If these ever stop working, there's a fuse right here you want to check.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of more fuses inside, but it's the exterior fuses I always like to point out, like this one here.
Okay, so that fuse there is for what again?
Power
the
these
power
and
of
that
the
slide
motors.
room, I believe.
Okay.
But if that fuse goes out, you're going to get no power for any of this stuff, which is a pain. I always like to point those out so people know where they are.
Okay.
It's just sometimes you get an extra access point to crank everything up and down from there. So any questions so far? Anything here, or is it's kind of self-explanatory? It's not super complicated, really.
Yeah. So far, it seems pretty good.
And then you get to the inside. It's mostly just where everything is. It seems like I already know how. It seems like you pretty much know how everything works, or you just kind of point out where things are.
YouTube videos, they explain a lot of things.
They do. They really do. You see up here we got your new fan vents installed. I got one back there, and I got one up here.
Okay. Nice.
And those things
Seems
work
to.
those fantastic fans work so well. And the one thing I will mention is this one here is attached to this light switch here. So if you want to turn, so right now I have all the lights turned off. So I flip the switch because they each have a light switch on them. You can turn them on and off. or you can turn it off with a switch.
Okay.
But that fan, there's no power up there except for from these lights. So I wired the fan into the light systems. So whenever the light switch is on, the fan's on.
Unless, of course, you turn it off up there.
Or yeah,
so.
you can actually just shut it to turn it off.
Okay.
Or you can use the light
I've heard
switch.
some of those have a rain sensor, but I'm not sure if these ones do.
These ones do not have a rain sensor. You can get a rain sensor kit, and they're set up for it on the top, where they just mount in and you just wire it into the motor. And they're all designed to be upgraded. If that makes sense. So you can buy a base one and then add this or add that or add this, or you can buy the higher end ones. But they're all built the same, so they use the same housing for all of them. So they'll have the cutouts, the mounting points for all the different stuff you need for the rain sensor ones.
Okay, so
it's just
that's open now.
Yes.
How would you close it?
Yeah, get to turn that. Which
So
I'm
you turn the knob
for. Yes.
And that closes it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't turn it right now.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'm short.
that's fine.
But you can feel here when you
yeah.
So you put those jacks down. That
It helps jump. No.
But you just bounce a couple times to get a spring, then go up.
Yes, exactly.
So you have an emergency exit over here. When you need, if you ever need to escape, and these are just pop those clips, push.
Well,
just like that.
Also works as good ventilation.
It works extremely well as ventilation. What's really nice is if you're not using the air conditioner or something and you're using those, what you do is you close all the windows on the sun side and you open the ones on the shade side. And these all pull about, I think they're rated at 950 cubic feet per minute. They'll pull about a 10-mile-an-hour breeze.
Oh, nice.
So if you actually...
And, not too much. I was told that you might be able to remove that. I'm not saying it needs to be done now, but...
I wasn't... No one mentioned that to me, but I'm sure it could be removed.
It doesn't need to be removed now. I just wanted to know. Because we were looking at it, doesn't look like there's any power to it. Doesn't look like there's really...
power on either side of it, so there's probably not a powered system. It's just set up for magazines or to put a lamp on or something.
Yeah.
That's usually what that's for is a lamp of some kind. Just to set it right here and plug it. So you've got both of your chairs next to it. So yeah, that could probably be... Anything can be removed. I'll say that. Anything can be removed.
Okay.
That's your unit, so you can do whatever you want, really.
Yeah.
They put emergency exit in every area that's classified as a bedroom. Any place that has a bed has to have its own emergency exit, because if you're sleeping out here and you can't get up there, you have to have a way out back here.
Yep.
So we got your fridge out here, which nice and cold. Freezer, sorry. So I always turn everything on beforehand to show people that everything's working the way it's supposed to.
Okay, and then the lights on the top there.
So in this one, you have an on and off. So off, on. It's on automatic mode right now.
Okay.
Which means whenever you have 110 power, so whenever you're plugged into shore power, it'll use the electricity. But if you were to unplug for any reason, it would automatically turn on the gas side. So it's propane or gas.
Okay.
Gas or electric, because propane is a gas, sorry.
Well,
so,
true.
In this sense, it's a gas. So it prioritizes electric power over propane power. So if you lose, if it's on automatic mode, which it is right now, if you lose AC power.
Okay, and what's check mode?
So if I click it on the gas side, and it fails to ignite by the third try, so it's a 3-try system. If it doesn't ignite by then, it turns this light on to tell you it had a failure to ignite. Because it actually lights a little flame in the back. And if that doesn't light, the check light comes on, and you just turn it off and then on again to reset it, and it does it again. Sometimes when it's been sitting for a bit and you've turned the propane tanks off and everything's bled out of the system when it's full of air, you have to do that, what purges the system of air. But the easiest way to do that is just turn your stove on and light the stove, and it'll sound like it's farting for a bit. You get like a flame over here and it'll like shoot out air over here a little bit, and it's like...
Okay.
So, yeah. But most people just leave it on automatic mode all the time. Pretty standard stove here. It's just... There's no igniter on it, so you need to use matches or a lighter or something to
it doesn't have an igniter switch?
No, it doesn't. So you can plug it here. Just like that. There's a little bit of air left in the system, so now it's all gone. They use a match or a lighter. You can get igniters for them. You just have to drill a little hole and plumb it in. It's not a hard thing to do. That's something we could do for you if you wanted, probably. But yeah, with how this stove came, it's you have to light it manually, unfortunately.
And that's for the oven, I'm guessing?
Yep. The oven's got a pilot light at the back. It's kind of a little bit of a pain to do, actually. It can be. The pilot light is located right in the middle in the back here. Kind of right here is where your pilot's located.
Okay.
You've got this brass rod that's your thermocouple. That's the pilot light here. There it goes. It's right there. And then once it heats up enough, it'll start glowing red. And it'll actually ignite. And once you turn it off to pilot on or pilot off, the pilot will just sit there, or you can just turn it all the way off. Once it's heated up that piece enough, see how it's starting to glow kind of orange there? You can hear the gas valve just opened and the burner ignites just like that. Just the only thing you have to light manually. Everything else, this and the stove, everything else is controlled by electric igniters. Okay. So you can see how it's kind of purging a little bit of the air. It's like blowing air out, kind of pushing out the flame a little bit. Once it's heated up all the way and purged the air from the system, it calms down a little bit and just becomes a solid burner. So yeah. And then you can turn it back down to pilot on, and that's all it'll be on. And you can turn it off. And that's it.
Okay.
Range here. Got exhaust fan, light switch, the microwave. You can explain how to use a microwave.
Yep.
I'm sure most people are familiar with it.
One thing I could say is I wish that the microwave was over there with its own vent.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the vented ones. Because then you'd have a plate cabinet there, which would be nice, but
That's how they're designed, unfortunately.
it works out, I suppose.
Always just take that out and get a counter-mounted one. You have to put it in the storage compartment whenever you go anywhere, though.
Oh, what do you mean?
Some people just remove those and actually make cabinets out of them, and then just